to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Parry-Cruwys, and with me as always are my fabulous co-hosts.
Hey Rob, it's Diana.
And it's me, Jackie.
Welcome to this new fabulous month, and this is our preview edition where we talk to you about what topics we'll be covering here at ABA Inside Track, our podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research. Yes, this is certainly a month to remember. It's going to be a good month. So what month is it going to be now?
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
May, you say?
May.
Oh.
And May.
Well, it's gonna be May. That's right.
Do
all
you
this
know
month.
what you mean?
I do want to
by
know
that?
what you mean. What does that mean by all this month in May? What are we going to be doing?
It means that we are finally going to actually talk about some of the research that Jackie and I have done in some varying topics.
Yeah.
Oh,
We saved
great.
them all for the month of May.
Oh, that's good. That joke's not old at all.
It's super cool and new.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
But it's been a while. You know, we've been doing, episodes after episode.
For 3
after
years.
episode.
Over
Yeah.
3 years.
And each time we're like, should we talk about something that we've done? No. People don't know that we do research too.
Mhm.
But we do. And so we decided to share it all with you.
We waited until we ran out of things to talk about, and
Pretty
now we'll be
much.
talking about Diana and Jackie's research, and then go down in a blaze of glory after that, probably.
Right?
Will this be the last preview? Who knows?
Who knows?
It is possible.
Probably. I know. We have more topics to go over. So, yes, all May we'll be talking about research that Jackie and Diana have done or is related to research they are doing or have done in the past.
Right.
So that'll be 3 episodes all about 3 fun topics, which are EIBI, and that's one of Diana's research topics. We'll also be talking about observational learning, which is Jackie's area of expertise. And then, because it is a confusing topic, we'll be talking about both behavioral momentum, which is a topic that Diana has published in.
And Jackie.
And Jackie. And then we'll also be talking about high P and low P sequence, because honestly, if you talk about behavioral momentum, there's a good chance you assumed I was talking about high P,
Right.
low P sequence. So we figured let's just round out the month by sharing what we know about high P,
Clarifying
low
that
P
issue.
sequence. Yes, to clarify them.
We have not done research in high P, low P though, but that's just because there are a lot of weeks in May.
Yeah, it's a long month. And we figured, you know
Right.
what better month to clarify something than high P, low P. I'm dropping articles left and right. Oh,
It's not good.
I got it. Okay.
So excited.
So let's start talking about EIBI first. So we'll be talking about some EIBI articles in May, including a comparison of intensive behavior analytic and eclectic treatments for young children with autism by Howard, Sparkman, Cohen, Green, and Stanislaw, and that is in Research and Developmental Disabilities, 2005. We'll be talking about naturalistic developmental behavioral interventions, empirically validated treatments for autism spectrum disorder. That's by Shriebman, Dawson, Stammer, Landa, Rogers, McGee, Kasari, Ingersoll, Kaiser, Brunsma, McNerney, Weatherby, and Halliday, and that's in the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders, 2015.
With every author.
With every author ever. And then, last but not least, we'll be talking about Assessing Progress and Outcome of Early Intensive Behavioral Intervention for Toddlers with Autism by MacDonald, Parry-Cruwys, Dupere, and Ahearn. And that's in Research in Developmental Disabilities, 2014.
Woo-wee.
Let's move into one of your topics, Jackie. That's observational learning.
Woo-wee.
For that, we'll be talking about MacDonald and Ahearn, 2015, Teaching Observational Learning with Children with Autism, and that's in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis. We'll also be talking about DeQuinzio and Taylor, Teaching Children with Autism to Discriminate the Reinforced and Non-Reinforced Responses of Others, Implications for Observational Learning, and that's in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, also 2015. And then Townley, Cochran, Leaf, Taubman, Leaf, and McEachen in 2015, their article, Observational Learning for Students Diagnosed with Autism, a review paper. And that's in the Review Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders. Oh my goodness.
2015 was a big year for
Big
observation.
year.
It was the only, everyone just wanted to talk about it then, and then that was it.
Then only
Everything
then.
they said was said in 2015, I think. And then finally, we'll be talking about both behavior momentum and high P, low P sequence. So our high P, low P sequence articles will be Norman, Kessner, and Jessel, An analysis of stimuli that influence compliance during the high probability sequence in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2013. Lipschultz and Wilder, recent research on the high instructional sequence, a brief review in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2017. We'll be taking a trip in the Wayback Machine to Mace, Hawk, Lally, West, Belfiore, Pinter, and Brown for behavioral momentum in the treatment of noncompliance in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 1988. Whoa, so old. And then Zulaga and Normand, an evaluation of the high probability instruction sequence with and without programmed reinforcement for compliance with high probability instruction in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2008. Oh, wait, forgot one more in my notes.
But wait,
And then there's also Nevin, 1996's The Momentum of Compliance in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis. Nope, no, sorry, that's in the Neuron section.
No, you're right.
That's it. Okay, there's there too. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about that article twice.
So nice. We're doing it twice.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it was a typo in my notes. Thank you for clarifying, everybody. Sorry about that. And then, of course, behavior momentum. We'll be talking about MacDonald, Ahearn, Parry-Cruwys, Bancroft, and Dupere in persistence during extinction, examining the effects of continuous and intermittent reinforcement on problem behavior in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2013. And then we got Parry-Cruwys again with Neil, Ahearn, Wheeler, Premchander, Loeb, and Dupere in resistance to disruption in a classroom setting, Java, 2011. And then Nevin, Mandel, and ATAC. 1983 is the analysis of behavior momentum in the Journal of Experimental Analysis of Behavior. I always mix that one up, yes. And of course, the Nevin article that I already mentioned. Oh, that's a lot of articles.
It's okay.
We'll be talking about all in May. It's a long month.
4 episodes
We
this
got them
month.
all there.
It's gonna be May.
That's right. All right.
And a lot of Nevin.
So that's what we'll be doing this month. All about them. So the joke doesn't work for me because I didn't post anything. Boo-hoo-hoo. All right. Well, that sounds like enough articles to read. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about something different. Perhaps errata? Yes, errata is the segment of the show where we talk about issues related to the field. Maybe we read some emails, people send in questions or comments or feedback or errors. We'll talk about all of that. So let's do a little housekeeping first. Let's start with that. We had a couple conferences in April that people were at, and apparently, I was not there, but apparently a lot of people came up and said hello and, good job on the show and all sorts of nice things.
And where's Rob?
This was at APBA.
Nobody said where's Rob. Nobody said that.
They did.
They forgot I was even a part of the show, I bet.
No, they don't.
So where were y'all this past month?
Jackie and I were at APBA in Atlanta, which was a very good conference. We got to hear Lori Unum speak. Derek and Flo Reed were there. Jim Johnston was there.
That was a really good talk.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff going on.
Yep.
Gene Green talked about licensure.
Billy Ahearn and John Rapp talked about stereotypy.
Oh,
That was
man.
sold out.
Yep.
I would have liked to hear that.
Tyra Sellers talked about ethics in the BACB.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
good.
Jesse Dallery talked about smoking cessation.
It was neato.
It was a great conference. Yeah.
Very cool.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. And then Diana, you had another speaking engagement.
I did. So then I talked about some supervision stuff at the Babbitt Social, which is like a mini half-day conference just locally here.
But it's really a full day because it's 12 to 9.
Yeah, it's just, I guess.
They say it's half day, but that's a full day.
You get dinner.
12 to 9.
I remember that was such a tiny. It was like a tiny little.
Right.
It's just for one
It
CE.
was literally like a tiny little social gathering, and now it's like
The
almost
cool
its own
thing about it is you can get like
conference.
all your ethics, or maybe not all, but like most of your ethics and your supervision
Right.
in one
Yeah.
go, because they really concentrate on that. So it was cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Diana did great.
Yay!
Yeah.
And then also for those of you who are fans of podcasts, if you do not know about the Why We Do What We Do podcast, which is it's produced and created by a bunch of behavior analysts. It's not explicitly a behavior analytic podcast, I would say. But it's not human behavior, so it's hard not to be.
Yeah, they take like a behavior analytic bent on a lot of very
Yeah.
psychological topics.
Yes, but if you are a fan of podcasts, we were very fortunate to be invited to join the WWD crew for their big 100th episode, where we talk about fad treatment. So it was a really exciting.
so fun.
We had somebody else's podcast. It was really cool. We had a lot of fun, and so that will be out. That will be coming out very soon. If it's not out already, it'll be coming out pretty soon.
On their platform.
On there, yes. So it'll be on there. So look for them in Apple Podcasts or Spotify, all those places. Why we do what we do. They have a lot of awesome episodes, and then specifically their 100th one, you'll hear our voices too. Wow, how exciting!
Wow.
Our voices. Woo. And then we've also got a couple, one more conference, at least one more conference coming up.
EIBI is happening in Chicago at the end of May, and Jackie and I will be there.
We are giving a workshop on Friday morning that you can still sign up for if you want to, where we'll talk about staff retention, supervision, the compliment sandwich, all those things.
Yep. We will.
Yep. Employee of the month, we're going to be talking about that.
Yep.
I'm just thinking of all the things in the title.
It's a long title.
It's a very long
It is
title.
We'll be talking about the following things.
I always look so lofty when I write the title.
Yeah, you're
We're
like,
going to do this, and this, and this, and this.
I like a funny title.
Yep.
It was good.
I
It
like
was a
funny
funny
titles.
title.
Was your funny title? I
I don't know
haven't
what
read
it
the
is, so
official
don't ask
title.
what the title is,
Okay.
but
You can look us up on the ABAI website.
I'll be at a stereotypy talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then we have some student work.
We have some student work going, so we'll be there with our bells on.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So people can find you.
Come find us.
Listen
Yeah.
for bells.
We'll be jingling as we walk.
You'll hear us.
All right, so that brings us to from April into May, which is the month we're talking about. So I guess that's all of the
We have to
news.
talk about our April fundraiser.
Oh, that's right. I almost totally forgot.
You did almost
Yeah.
I did almost forget, but I didn't because you're hearing this now. So if you are new to the show and this is the first time you've ever heard us talk, or perhaps you forgot, April was Autism Awareness Month.
Or Autism Acceptance Month.
Well, Autism Acceptance Month, yes. And what we had done last year, and we were really excited to do this year, was to donate a portion of all the proceeds for CEs to a worthy cause. And this year we donated to the New England Center for Children, which is a fabulous internationally recognized school for individuals with autism spectrum disorder. It's also the home of, I would guess almost every behavior analyst that, many of the behavior analysts we know. It's a number of great graduate programs. It's where all of us got our starts, all our careers started there.
Right.
And so we had a bonus episode last month where Kim Walter from New England Center for Children came on and talked about the organization, many of the initiatives they're working on and have worked on in the past few years. So you can go back and listen to bonus episode 16 if you'd like to hear more about the organization, if you haven't already. But we're really overjoyed to be able to donate back to a group that does so much for both individuals with autism, their families, and for behavior analysis. So that was a big joy for us to do, and we want to say thank you to everybody who purchased CEs in the month of April. Hopefully people bought maybe an extra one or two because they knew that a lot of that money was going to go to the New England Center for Children. So that was very exciting. So thank you so much. If you didn't know that and you just bought some CEs from us, well, thank you so much for that as well. And hey, guess what? The money also
really
went
helped
to a good cause.
Cool.
All right, so that's an update from April. All right, I think that's everything, right? I got it all?
That's it.
All right, let's talk about, we got a couple emails in this month.
Yeah, so I wanted to read a comment on our website under our episode 56, which is behavioral gerontology. And so Jamie wrote, "Hi, I am a gerontologist." And she said that you can't obtain a certificate in gerontology. You cannot obtain a certificate in gerontology in 2 semesters because similar certificate programs in ABA, like similar certificates in ABA, even though ABA you have to do it in 3 semesters, 3 or 4, but you have to complete certain prerequisites such as biology of aging before progressing to more advanced courses like psychology of aging. But she really appreciated that we talked about this relatively unknown and untapped field, and particularly she liked that we dove into some current approaches and applications. And so, it's a really interesting field out there, and there's a lot of good research going on, so people should really reach out.
And a lot more needs to happen.
Right.
So if that sounds interesting to you, then you might look into learning more about it.
Yeah.
I think the context for that of her comment is on that episode we were saying.
Right, yep.
You'll need more training to do gerontology
Absolutely.
work, but we weren't exactly sure how much. So she was trying to help clarify that it might be more than 2 semesters because there's some stuff you need to know.
Right. A lot more.
Like any given field, but there's maybe more than you might anticipate. But that shouldn't deter you because this is going to be a really big area moving forward as the baby boomers age into their twilight years.
Right. And
They've already done that, actually.
Right.
So it's just...
Fine, Rob. Just trying to, sound smooth.
And it did.
Thanks for.
It was like butter.
Sorry.
Hot
All
butter.
right, but cool. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie.
I also want to say that Jamie gave us a shout out in a presentation that she gave at the Southern Gerontology Society conference. So that's like really awesome.
Wow.
So
That's way
thanks,
cool.
Jamie. So that's awesome.
Was it like, don't listen to the following
Yeah,
podcast
maybe.
about gerontology? These guys don't know what they're talking about.
I just think that's really nice.
Thank you, Jamie. It's really
It's really cool.
awesome.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, so we have another email when we created the episode on social thinking. Yes, that's episode 78
with Dr. Justin Leaf.
Yes.
Got it.
Or should behavior analysts use social thinking trademark?
And so,
Right.
Though I don't know how to put a trademark in the episode title, so it technically should have had it. Whoopsies.
And so at the end of the episode, we mentioned time management and executive functioning. And we were talking about a researcher named Adele Nadwowski. Did I say her last name right?
It's Nadowski.
Nadowski.
The J is silent.
I added the J.
Yeah. This is from listener Kelly. She was asking us, like, what is that episode?
Right. And Adele came up with a book called Flexible and Focused about executive functioning skills that anyone might find helpful. So you can look at that. And she just actually came out with a book on ethics, the Ethics Handbook, with Darren Shush. So that's another book that you can check out that she wrote.
Flexible and focus is very good. I had a chance to. Did you guys see her talk at? When we were at the Thompson
absolutely.
Center. I
Yes,
loved
Thompson
it.
Center, yeah.
I loved it. I don't know if Nadell might not be using that one. Maybe it's more on ethics now. But if you get a chance to talk to her about flexible and focused and some of the techniques she's used with students in the past, it's one of those great things where you sort of are listening and you're like, yes, oh my God, that sounds exactly like something I once thought and then didn't do anything with.
Did not act
I'm
on.
so glad that you did it because it's much more thorough and amazingly put together than maybe I would have done it. So
Right, exactly. It's all packaged up there together nicely. So
it both makes
it all
sense.
makes sense.
It makes perfect sense and is completely usable.
Yes, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I know I've shared some of the handouts from that book with a couple. They're free online. I didn't steal them or anything, but some of them online about
happy to share
time
resources.
management, and I'll hand them to people. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. I never knew I needed this, but look, here it is. So yes, it's a good recommend.
Nice. Cool. And so the following thing I just wanted to give a shout out to is that if you live in the New England area, I know that we posted this on Facebook, but there's a new group called the New England Behavior Analysts for Sustainability. And so if you are interested in being a part of this group, they're going to be working on some research related to sustainability, identifying projects and advocacy groups that they can get involved with, to help our world. You should look them up. It's www.sustainabilitynewengland.org. Again, that's www.sustainabilitynewengland.org.
Yeah, and they're really just getting up and running, but they're interested in maybe doing some local events and seeing who might be interested in projects or research conglomerations to see what we can get going around here. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the website, but you can also email them at info@sustainabilitynewengland.org to get added to the mailing list.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything. We covered
It
everything.
is. Yeah.
I feel like I missed a lot. It's not about May. It's May.
It's about May.
So
And this one.
May.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So that sounds like everything. Oh, good. That's a big May. It was a big April, and it's a big May. Who knew?
It's big.
Ooh. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to the show or for watching this on YouTube. If you enjoy ABA Inside Track or would like to listen to more ABA Inside Track, you can always find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Stitcher, or really anywhere you get your podcast. You can also find us everywhere on social media as ABA Inside Track, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a YouTube page. Where all of these episodes go out with the ability to get closed captions if you are so inclined. And you can go to our website at any point, abainsidetrack.com, and feel free to email us with topic ideas, feedback, questions, statements, whatever you like, at abainsidetrack@gmail.com.
You did it.
I did it. I almost just said the website at the same time, in case you couldn't tell. So we'll be back for all the rest of May with all these exciting topics written by these guys over here. But until then, keep responding. Bye.